We are live. Welcome to episode 34 of the High Slot Podcast, brought to you by our producer, Mass Music Radio. I'm here today, as always, with the boys, Bob Deuce.
How are we?
Snipsky.
Yes, sir.
And myself, Andrew Coco Curry. How you boys doing? I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah this past weekend. What's going on, boys? Anything new?
No, just, enjoy the holidays. Might enjoy the holidays a little too much. But that's either here or there. But yeah, I'm ready to be get back in the swing of things. How about you, Vinny?
Didn't behave myself at all.
He got Cole.
I pretty much hung out with this bozo all week, doing family things. Had a little bit to drink, I would say. But yeah, back and ready to rock. Let's go.
Yeah, I was all over the place this weekend. I did enjoy it, but originally we went out to Leominster, went and saw Bailey's family, made our way back to Quincy on Christmas Day, and then actually stayed over in Quincy on Christmas night. And then the next day we had to head back to Hudson for like another family party for something like extended family. And then finally made it back to the Cape where I'll be bunkered up for the foreseeable future. But yeah, we were driving all across the state for the holidays, but it was a great holiday. Spent some time with family. Booze was definitely flowing, like you boys were talking about. I was on the peanut butter whiskey on Christmas Day, and
hell yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
Peanut butter whiskey is elite.
Oh, the screwball, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
I was going a little eggnog and screwy. Oh, it's dangerous.
Screwy. Little screwy.
Yeah, we actually, on, Christmas Eve, we ended up going in the seaport to start off early for the Pats.
No way.
Yeah, and
you guys are sickos.
Yeah, shout out Grace and Kev. Grace was working the bar and like making me espresso martinis. Like I had one espresso martini, two mimosas.
Beer mimosas.
No, well, I had the regular ones. You guys were drinking those. I think I might have had one.
Beer mimosas is sick.
But we're mainly on the Bud Light wave. Like,
Make it back home for Christmas dinner?
Dude,
Barely.
I woke up we made it there. We ended up going to Hofbrau with Colonel at late night on Christmas Eve. Like, me and Bob were like, oh yeah, let's go to Hoffy. Like, never go to Hoffy. It's just like walk up there. And then my dad, Colonel, was just like, I'm down. We're like, Wait, you down?
And we tried to get Diane to go so bad. She's like, no, you guys are crazy. It's like -3 out. She was not wrong. Dude, walking to Hofbrau was such a chore. Like we was like walking down C Street and it was insanely cold. Like it was bad. The Colonel was like full sprint going to the Hofbrau.
I can picture him just trudging up the street, leaving you guys in the dust.
Oh, dude, the worst was the walk home, I think. The walk up there was like, all right. But then like we got like 4 beers more deep into the night, and then
the thing is, I don't remember the walk home.
You guys were like walking behind me, and I was just like kind of like trucking. I'm like, I was dad on the way home. I'm like, yo, you guys are nuts.
Yeah, slept with the cats. Had a good night. Woke up the next morning.
Diane was probably like, you guys are idiots.
Oh yeah. When we first showed up to our parents, like maybe like we said we were drinking at in the seaport. Showed up, you can just tell. My mom's like, oh Jesus. Like she just knew we were rinsed already. She's like, all right, like, oh, it was pretty funny. But
she's just like, all right, Christmas is ruined.
Yeah, like, all right, I'll leave it to the Cameron brothers to ruin it.
Dizzy's about the heat though. She understands.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No one knows the deal more than Diane does.
I mean,
Dizzy.
She's dealt with us for almost 30 years. Like, yeah.
Dealt with us in our prime too.
I know, dude. We were scumbags in high school.
Shitheads back in high school.
I was a scumbag in high school.
Yeah, she's put up with it all. But yeah, God bless her. She's a saint. But yeah, sounds like you guys had a hell of a time. Love to hear it. We got a huge episode today. We're going to start with a little hockey talk. Then we're going to do our Mass High School Hockey Roundup. Then we're going to give some nominees for the 2022 High Slot Best of the Year Awards. And then finally, we'll finish up with our weekly gambling corner. You boys ready to rock?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. All right, let's start with the Boston Bruins. They played last night after the break. First game back. 3-2 shootout loss in Ottawa last night. Boys, what are your thoughts on the game?
I didn't really get to see the game because I had to do some coaching class, unfortunately. But it seems like the Senators just have our number. That's our second loss in Ottawa. I don't know what, like, I think they just like match up perfectly against us or something like that, or that we just play down to their level. Because also with the Coyotes, I feel like we just play at like certain teams' levels. So like we just kind of get too cocky and go in there because obviously we're the best team in the league. But and also I heard there was a lot of it was a good goaltending matchup too. I guess like goaltenders like just dueled it out. So
yeah, good game. I mean, the Senators, like, for some reason, like Bob said, have our number. I think it's just like they kind of play the same style, and they're a little bit younger, but they're not all the way there yet. Both goalies played really well. Swayman, I mean, I didn't really see most of the game, but Swayman made some crucial saves in the first period. I heard he kept us in it. It seems like with him, they just don't give him any like goal support, you know, like they do with Linus. But yeah, I mean, they're due for a couple of these. You know, they go into Ottawa, and Ottawa's just pesky. It seems like we were kind of high on them coming into the year, and they haven't been what we thought.
Yeah, I mean, the boys definitely came out flat. I mean, maybe a little too much booze over the break. Does it suck losing to a dumpy team like the Sens? Yeah, it does, but it doesn't worry me one bit. Snips, you said it. Like, we were due for a couple of these losses the way we've been playing to start the year. And if you watch the entirety of the game, the Bruins outplayed the Sens for pretty much the entire game. I mean, they got screwed on Bergey's goal that got called back.
Yeah.
It was like a minute after it was supposedly offsides. Play went on.
Yeah, it was like 40 seconds in the zone. Right?
And then, we bury, and then they challenge it, review it, and he was offsides by like a fucking skate blade. I mean, if you ask me, that rule's got to change. I mean, when it's like a minute later, like,
right.
and that wasn't like immediately like affected by the goal, then I think it's just a wash. I mean, like the fact that we just worked it around for 45 seconds
right.
and then buried.
Like a statute of limitations. Like when
right.
Like if the ref didn't catch it, it's just, hey, it's close, so it's a judgment call, you know, like.
Yeah, that's the statute of limitations. If there's a murder and it's been 10 years, no one can get convicted, right?
Yeah. No kidding, right? Like, I mean, you go back and you look at it like he's offsides by a fucking, hair on your ball bag there, but
could say something else too.
Like the refs are gonna make errors. Like that's just the way it is. Like, I feel like you got to leave it up to human error in that case. But if you want to review everything, it's just gonna slow the game down, and it's just gonna get annoying. But back to the game, Cam Talbot basically just stole one for the Sens. He stood on his head, 49 saves. We outshot them like 27-5 in the third.
I was
period.
Gonna say, yeah, that's crazy.
It was like
it
was nuts. He was just stopping everything. Then finally Zaka got one late to tie it up, sent it to OT. And again, he came up some huge saves in overtime. Same with Sway. Sway played really well.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you just run to a hot goalie, and it is what it is. Whatever. Put it in the rear view, move on. We got the Devils tonight. But yeah, it's the second time we've lost to the Sens this year. So yeah, like you guys said, maybe the Sens just have our number.
Thank God they're not a playoff team.
Yeah, we're not going to see him in the playoffs no matter what. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
I didn't scrape the point like that, coming back and tying it up in the third period and never giving up. Like, obviously, a team with this much talent, the way it's been going, won't give up, obviously, when they're going up against an inferior opponent like the Sens.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact we play technically what you call a bad game and we still muster up a point, like, that's a win in my book. Like, it's not like we're losing these games getting shit pumped by 5 goals. Like, we're still scrapping a point, and that's going to matter in the standings in the long run. So,
I don't think we've ever been outshot.
No.
Like, if you look at all the stats, it might be one game, but, like, we're always, like, at least 10 shots above our opponent every game.
I think the Devils, actually, last time we played them in Jersey, I think they had outshot us. But we just got most of our.
I mean, that's probably close though. Like,
yeah, right. It wasn't like
they're skating up and down. The ice just shooting on each other.
Like that Coyotes lost. We had like 60 shots on net, and they only had like 15, and we lost.
Yeah,
it was so nuts.
Like
inside that tin can Mullet Arena.
Yeah. Like sometimes you just run to a hot goalie, and there's nothing you can do in those situations. You gotta like tip your cap, be like, yeah, I mean that guy stood on his head, and whatever, move on from it.
Yeah.
All right. So over the weekend, wasn't much action for the NHL. The league was off for the holiday break. But what was in action starting this week was the World Junior Hockey Championship, which kicked off this past Monday. For those unfamiliar with the World Junior Hockey Championship, it's an annual tournament where future NHL stars and top prospects, all under the age of 20, get to display their skills on the international stage and, more importantly, represent their country. Some current NHL players who recently played in the World Juniors are Trevor Zegras of the Anaheim Ducks, Timmy Stützle for the Ottawa Senators, Florida Panthers goaltender Spencer Knight, amongst many others. This is a pretty prolific tournament. So, why don't we dive into some of the results so far from this year's tournament? So, in the opening action on Monday, we saw Switzerland upset last year's runner-up Finland 3-2 in OT. Sweden started the tournament with a bang. They absolutely pounded Austria 11-0. The United States avoided a big upset with a 5-2 win over Latvia. And the defending champions from Canada were upended by Czech Republic 5-2 in their first game of the tournament. Boys, what are your thoughts on the action in the World Junior so far?
Canada is just like an all-star team and just didn't take it serious. You can tell they just want to get Michigan goals and wanted to wow the crowd, want to do a couple panty dropping things. But at the same time, dude, you got to play some fucking hockey. Czech just outclassed them, dude. They literally got in the corners, won every puck battle, just like great penalty killing. Like they're just a hockey team. Like Canada's is just an all-star team, in my opinion. Like they just like you got Bedard, Fantilli, like Shane Wright actually was like the one guy on that team that I saw that was like, oh, right, he's playing hockey. You know what I mean? Like he had a tip in goal, he had an assist. He was like out there, he was like actually playing hockey. But like Bedard, you can tell. I mean, he scored, but you can tell he was just like being like, oh, I'm showcasing. Like he didn't really was trying to win.
Yeah, the thing I saw between Czech, like me and Bob were watching the game back at the house, and I was just like, it was tie game at one point. I think it was like 2 or 3, whatever. But I was just watching. I was like, Bob, Czech's gonna win this game. You're like, no. But I'm just looking. Czech just looks more physical. Like they play a system. It looks like on the D zone. They're always in the right position. It looks like more of a team game. Plus, they play more physical. And like when I see Canada out there, they're kind of just like all skill, you know, like it doesn't look like they have a guy that's going into the corners, digging pucks out. Doesn't look like it's very structured either way. Like it's just like the forwards do, like, which I have no problem with the forwards do their thing because they're that skilled. But like it doesn't look like they're very beefy on the back end, you know. It's just like not really physical. They're just out there skating around guys, trying to toe drag through guys, do the Michigan, you know, like it just doesn't look like a team game to me.
Yeah, I mean, going into the tournament, like on paper, I was looking at that Team Canada and I was like, this might be one of the most talented teams I've ever seen in this tournament. And for them to go out and kind of lay a stinker, lose 5-2 to Czech in the first game was pretty surprising to me. I thought they were going to go out and dominate that game, but you guys kind of touched on it. Like it was a lot of individual hockey. I mean, besides from Shane Wright, who I think is one of the only guys on the roster who has played in the World Juniors before. I mean, he knows what it takes to win. They won it last year. He was on the squad. But, yeah, he was the only one looking like, you know, trying to go out there and gut out a win and, you know, take this thing serious. The other guys looked like you said, just toe dragging, going for the Michigan, going for the highlight reel goals. And that's not going to win you hockey games at the end of the day. Czech just came in, outmuscled them. They were down early too, Czech, and then they just fired back starting at the end of the first, and then they kind of really took control of the game. So I think Canada's going to bounce back, though. I think this team is still really good and probably one of the best teams that's been in this tournament in the past few years. I wouldn't count out Canada, and in my opinion, I still think they're going to win it. I think it was just kind of a wake-up call for them in the first game.
I'm looking at their group they're in right now, and it's going to be tough because Czechs in there, obviously, 14. They're 2-0, 14 goals for, 2 goals against, 6 points. Then you got Sweden's in their group.
Yeah.
Already won 2 games, 2 goals for, 0 against, 6 points. So they're playing Germany later tonight, and they have to put up goals. Like goals matter in this tournament because they're tie breaks, and they have to win. Like that's I think only the top two, do only the top 2 advance?
I think top 3.
Oh, top 3. Oh, okay. So they
yeah.
will advance because they're much better. They're gonna rinse Germany.
Yeah.
Well, we said that about them the other day. Everyone thought they were going to win the other night, so we'll see. John Tortorella probably watched that game and was like losing his. After the second Michigan dude, he probably just took his whiskey glass and slammed it right on the table.
He just resigned from the Philadelphia Flyers head coach position. He's just like, can't take it anymore.
He's like, I got to coach these fucking bimbos next year. Are you kidding me?
He's like, but Dad's going.
Those kids wouldn't last half a practice with Tortsy.
Hell no.
No way.
But Canada definitely dug themselves in a hole here. Like you said, Simpson, it's not going to be easy, and it starts tonight getting a big win over Germany, and then when they go up against Sweden, that's going to be a massive game. They basically have to win out from here on out, I think, to make it to the next round. Speaking of Sweden looks like a wagon. I mean, I know they beat up Austria 11-0. They followed it up with a 1-0 win against Germany, haven't allowed a goal in 2 games. I mean, 1-0 isn't like anything to write home about, but it just shows they can win games both ways, right? Like they can go like toe to toe with you offensively, and they can kind of shut it down, tighten things up defensively, park the bus, and beat you in a low scoring game too. So I really like what I'm seeing from Sweden so far. They got a stacked team.
So is Germany like sneaky good? Like kind of if they're only losing 1-0.
I mean, they've been good the past couple of years.
That might be a dogfight tonight.
Sweden probably came in here pretty cocky after that 11-0 win. Probably took Germany a little lightly. But yeah, I don't think Germany is a team to sleep on. I think they can give Canada a game tonight. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. That division's tough. U.S., their division's a little weaker. I mean, they did not look great against Latvia. They won 5-2, but that game was 2-2 in the third.
Yep.
And Latvia was kind of wheeling on them for a good amount of the first half of that game. So yeah, it doesn't look like a United States team we've seen in the past. My hopes aren't too high for the United States this year.
I mean, it was big that like Finland lost too, like the first game to the Swiss, whatever. But yeah, I mean, like it's definitely looks like they're beating up on each other in the Group B with the U.S.
Yeah,
I mean, go ahead, Bob.
Well, I was just gonna say the Swiss, like you really don't like know what you're gonna get with Switzerland. Like they're either like really good or they're dog shit. Like they're never like they're never like middle of the road. You know what I mean? Like they already played 2 games. They have 4 points. So it's just like all right, like yeah, you're good. You know what I mean?
They won both of them in overtime.
Yeah, see, they're gritty. They're gritty.
So they could kind of be a dark horse, like the little Cinderella team. Yeah, Switzerland just kind of skating by, winning games in OT. Could be something brewing with the Swiss.
Yeah.
I mean, Finland. They didn't win it last year, right? Did they come close?
What?
Or like was it during the summer?
Runners up.
Yeah. I was gonna say they won it, but did they win it like they? I feel like they won it like recently.
I think they won the Olympics.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Oh, okay, right. Yeah, I think because the U.S. won it the COVID year, right? Or like the year before the COVID. And that was Canada was stacked that year. They had like 20 first-round picks on that team.
I know.
And blew it.
Yo, and Spencer Knight just
God mode.
Yeah, it was like 2-0. They shut out all those.
Yeah.
Zegras
and Caulfield just studs.
Yeah.
They were burying one every game. Zegras with the pregame press conference just.
He had a nasty goal too.
Yeah.
Don't leave on my boy Cam York too.
I was gonna say there was a stud. They had studs on that. Like the U.S. was so gritty that World Juniors, like they weren't like flashy. They just had Zegras, and then they locked everything else down.
Yeah, I loved that team, but USA Hockey is do or die. They say it, but just what I saw from them against Latvia wasn't very impressive at all. And they were just playing now, and it's only 2-1 against Slovakia. They're up after the first, so they haven't really been dominant like they have been in the past. So I'm a little bit worried about the United States this year. I think they'll get out of their grouping, but I don't expect them to go very far in this one. I just don't like what I've seen from them.
Yeah, a kid that stood out to me, he's a BC guy, so I guess I'm kind of biased, is Cutter Gauthier. He's nasty. Yeah. Kid's nasty. I think he's the best player on that team.
Yeah, I mean, they might skate by these first couple of games against lowly teams, Latvia, Slovakia, but once they go up against a big dog, a Sweden or a Canada, I think they might be in for one.
Finland, like they're like I was talking about Czech, big. Like they're big, skilled guys. I forget who the guy was, but he was on Finland. He tied the game against the Swiss to go into overtime, and he like wheeled around the board, just fighting for the puck, like all the way around the corner of the boards, gets up to the half wall, wins the puck. This guy's like 6'4" or something. He just wins the puck, goes around the top of the circle, and just an absolute seed top right. And he just goes sellies, and I'm like, dude, that guy's like he looks like a grinder. He looks like Tom Wilson or something, but he's like skilled, like he's 5'9", like Cole Caulfield. I'm like, geez, like what are they doing over there in Finland, dude? That kid I was like, damn, that kid's nasty.
Finland's been a factory for a couple of years. They've been producing some talent.
Yeah, a lot of those European teams have lately, like Slavkovsky for the Canadians. Yep. Where did he come from? Slovakia or Czech? One of them, right?
Either one of those.
Slovakia, I think.
So yeah, he was a Slovakian, right? Yeah, just some of these guys, dude, they just come out of the woodworks from like out in Europe.
Yeah, they live in like a cabin.
Yeah,
chopping wood. Yeah.
And their forearms are massive, and they have unreal releases, just bullet shots. It's crazy.
Herding cattle, just fucking going all out on the farm.
Yeah, built different out there. Some of the results from yesterday. Finland did bounce back with a 5-2 win over Slovakia. Sweden, like we mentioned, snuck by Germany 1-0. Switzerland took down Latvia 3-2 in a shooty. And then the Czech Republic continued their dominance with a 9-0 win over Austria. Some early tournament notes. The Czech, Sweden, and Switzerland are all currently 2-0. And Austria has been outscored 20-0 in 2 games.
Nasty. Yo, did you see that? Like he
Thanks for coming.
Sportsmanship award.
Yo, the Austrian goalie had like a nasty setup, and everyone just goes, "This guy cared about his style more than his play." Like, he had like his setup is nasty, but he let up so many goals.
You never know who's watching. You know, like he could just get drafted because he looks swag out there.
Or some girls just dropping his DMs. He looks really nice.
Maybe both.
Yeah, maybe both.
Some players to watch in this tournament that we haven't mentioned already. I mean, obviously there's Connor Bedard and Shane Wright for Canada, obviously. But Bob, I think you mentioned him. Adam Fantilli, he's on Team Canada also. He currently plays college hockey for Michigan. He's a projected top 3 pick in the draft this year. Another name to look out for is Leo Carlsson for Sweden. Currently plays in the SHL. He's 6'3", a $195. Forward, projected to be a top 5 pick in the draft. And then you have David Jiricek for the Czech. He was the 6th overall pick last year by the Blue Jackets. He currently plays for the Cleveland Monsters in the AHL. He's a stud defenseman. He had 20 points in 19 games with Cleveland so far this season. Did you guys hear the story about him too? His travels over here for the tournament?
No.
Oh, so this is a good one.
Oh, okay. Story time. Let's go.
He had a flight from Cleveland, right? Because he's currently playing the AHL. So they had another game for the AHL. And then he was going to make his way to Halifax for World Juniors. That was supposed to be on December 22nd. Keep in mind the tournament starts the 26th. His flight got delayed 3 days due to a winter storm up in Canada. He finally got a flight to Halifax on Christmas Day, the day before the tournament started. He landed in Halifax, but his equipment apparently did not make the trip with him.
Oh, my God. That's the worst.
So they lost his equipment. Air Canada did. That was the airline. No clue where his equipment is. His agent, I think his name's Alan Walsh, was going off on Twitter, going off multiple tweets, just bashing Air Canada and how shitty they are, saying that they're a garbage airline, all this other shit. It was a scene. He ended up deleting all the tweets. A coward move. If you ask me.
You got to own that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you can't burn bridges for those sponsorships. You never know.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of screwing this guy here. But yeah, I saw the tweets and I went back to screenshot them to read them off on the pod today.
Tough.
They were gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, he deleted them like a coward because they ended up finding his bag and they ended up getting his equipment delivered on Monday, like an hour or so before game time.
That's
so
crazy.
It all worked out, but just a nightmare scenario.
All right, I understand that they lost his equipment, but like, doesn't he pay the agent? And like, couldn't they just like buy equipment somewhere?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
too.
it's like you're in Canada. Plus, this kid's like already drafted.
Yeah, he plays in the AHL. Yeah,
he makes money in the like. He could go to like I know they don't have him, but like played against sports. And like Canada,
dude, he looks so dusty. And imagine when he played against sports, he showed up to like the World Juniors, you're wearing like fucking like CCM tax from like the 1990s.
Yeah.
Try like barely.
There's probably some farm stand like in the middle of like a in the snow somewhere. Some dude's just like selling hockey equipment in the middle of like a snowbank somewhere in Canada.
Right?
Like,
yeah. Dude, you know how many people are out there that would just lend him equipment? You know,
Yeah,
what I mean?
right.
Like, dude, use my shit. Like, they'd love that. Like,
Well, they don't have a-
Canadians especially are super nice.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
have
You
a
know they'd
pro
be
shop
offering
inside
everything.
of the arena or something.
Yeah, I mean, I know you probably want your own shit. It's probably
Right,
got a bunch
yeah.
of custom shit, but like, worst comes to worst, dude. Like, you just buy new shit.
Yeah.
And you play a game in it or whatever. Like, yeah, but his agent was bugging out.
The one thing I would not use on like another person's equipment is the skates. The skates is like make or break. If you're using
That's
someone
what
else's
molded.
skates, dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean new skates, dude. Screw that. You need a couple prackies in those.
Yeah, you can't just like show up to a game with different skates.
Yeah, you'll be looking like giraffe, like baby, like Bambi out there.
Or you just won't know the edges on it and you just be like toe picking, like falling over, like you know what I mean?
They're putting on my tinfoil hat here. Maybe it was a sabotage move by Canada because Czech was playing Canada on Monday.
And they
he's
still
one of their best
fucking lost.
players. Yeah, and they still got shit pumped 5-2. So that one didn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it was probably, what was it, a Czech, it says a bag of, like, Czech hockey on it. They're probably like,
Probably,
yeah,
yeah.
that one can stay.
Yeah. Like, oh,
Keep
yeah,
going.
this one's going on a flight to the Caribbean.
Yeah, right. So it's going to Russia.
Yeah. Yeah, see you later. They come back. But yeah, that's been the news from the World Juniors so far. Pretty electric tournament, if you ask me. I always look forward to the World Juniors because it's just young kids, got nothing to lose, just out there giving it their all. We'll keep you posted on that and the results. But before we move on, predictions, who you guys got winning it all?
I'll just go with Czech just because I think they're like,
yeah,
I'm just going to go with the Czech boys.
Yeah, I mean,
Czech, please.
I'm not gonna mush. I like Czech, but I'm not gonna mush. I'm just gonna go with Finland. You know what? They've been trendy. They've been trendy lately, and I mean, it's a looks like an easier group. I guess that's not a great reason, but hey, we'll see. I mean, Finland lost that game in overtime. They might be pissed, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with another European team on the Scandinavian Peninsula. I'm gonna go Sweden. I like Sweden. I feel like Sweden's always in the mix. They're always like finishing second or third. So I think they're due for one. I like to see a Sweden Czech finals.
Yeah, maybe
Sweden Finland. That'd be a blood.
Yeah, maybe like even see something from Fabian Lysell.
Yeah, 2 games. I don't think he has a point yet, and they've scored. 12 goals.
He didn't score a point on 11-0 win. That's crazy.
I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, "Wait, is he even on the team?" I looked, and yeah, he played like 16 minutes. No
Wait, you get
points.
buried on the third line or something?
I don't know, dude. I figured he'd be one of their best players because he lit it up last year, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, he was over in the W, and that's like the biggest junior league in Canada, and it's like he's lighting that up. And I don't know, maybe it's because he got injured in the preseason, maybe he's still hurt. I remember the Bruins. He was playing in the preseason, getting minutes, and he got buried in the corner, and then he never saw him again.
I mean, hey, if he can get going for Sweden, then watch out for the Swedes.
Oh yeah, he's nasty.
They're already a wagon as it is.
Oh yeah, I have another question. Is Russia like canceled from like the World Juniors?
Yeah, they can't do anything until like the war's over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got the boot. I think that's why Latvia's in there.
Latvia.
No, I think Latvia's
Or
always
maybe
in there.
Austria. Honestly, Austria probably has
you know
no
what? It might be
business being there.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yeah,
20.
no, Latvia was in it last year, weren't they, Bob? You said they had a nasty goalie.
Yeah, there's like he had a crazy last name. He was nasty, dude. He must have aged out.
I think it might be Austria. I think you're right.
They're plugged. 20 goals.
Yeah. They're just the beaten bag of the tournament.
They're just happy to be there.
Yeah, I heard they're nice people out in Austria. Happy to be there. All right, why don't we move on? We'll do our weekly Mass High School Hockey Roundup. We'll start with Division I action from the past week. Number 1, St. John's Prep. They knocked off Rhode Island's LaSalle Academy, who is currently 5-0 last week. The Eagles are going to host the Pete Frady's tournament starting Wednesday and Thursday, and they have a first-round matchup against BC High. That's going to be a big tilt. St. John's Prep versus BC High. Couple top 10 teams going to duke it out this week. Number 2, Catholic Memorial. They returned to action right before Christmas, had a big win over number 10, Belmont. This week, the Knights are going to host the William Hanson Invitational Tournament. They'll be taking on defending Connecticut D1 state champions Notre Dame of West Haven in a first-round game on Tuesday. So big one for CM this week. They also will play Natick on Saturday. Number 3, Hingham. We've been talking about them. They had a pair of 6-0 victories over Andover and Weymouth to improve to 3-0-1 on the season. They stay ranked at number 3, and they have a huge game this Saturday against number 7, Marshfield. And lastly, for D1, number 6, Arlington picked up a huge win on Friday. They took down BC High. The win came on the heels of a 4-2 win. The Ponders are off until an important Middlesex League battle with number 8, Reading, who's currently undefeated. That game will be at 12:30 at the Ed Burns Arena. The Arlington Rockets yet to allow a goal in 3 games so far. That's Reading. Reading Rockets have yet to allow a goal in 3 games, so that's going to be a big matchup.
The Red Rockets?
Reading. The Reading Rockets, yeah. Any thoughts on the D1 action, boys?
Yeah, I mean, like all those tournaments seem like they're going to be sick to watch. Like the Frades and the Hanson tournament. A bunch of star.
There's so many tournaments now, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't have these back then.
They must be new. I never heard of them, but like that, like those 2 tournaments, like that's just like star-studded. Like all those teams that are playing in it.
Any of those tournaments at Fenway or no? Any of the high school kids play? I think they did. They usually do, right?
Might, right?
Yeah,
Maybe
it's frozen
the
Fenway
Frades
this year,
tournament?
so.
That could be. I feel like BC or CM, they usually play on Fenway when the Classic's in town. So,
I know.
That's a good question.
I know. BC is playing like UMass and UConn and I think UNH or something like that.
Boston Fire versus Boston Police too at Fenway.
Oh, really? No
Yeah,
way.
big
That's
tip.
sick.
When's Quincy College going to get their nod? When are we going to get our nod?
We got snubbed.
It's like Quincy College versus Curry.
You guys got to pay your dues, you know.
I know.
That's true.
We gotta get at least a season of under our belt.
They're like, all right. The only way you guys get on Frozen Fenway is you have sub 10-minute penalty minutes, per game.
You boys gotta bring down the pins.
Yeah. They're like, no one wants to watch a game where there's fucking 7 people getting kicked out.
No, they're like, oh yeah, we got Bob. We were gonna invite you guys, but you didn't join the fire, so yeah, we can't.
Someone does a personal vendetta for me not going civil service.
Yeah, we look like Slapshot out there.
Yeah.
Just penalty minute after penalty.
Yeah.
But sounds like there weren't any surprises around D1 this year. I mean, the top teams took care of business, but there's some huge games this weekend that I can't wait to see how those pan out. Like St. John's, BC High, CM versus that defending D1 champs from Connecticut, and then Hingham Marshfield. That's going to be packed barn at that one.
Aren't they like huge rivals?
Yeah, that's big time. That's got to be at Hobbamock if it's at Marshfield. They play at a Hobbamock, so
God bless.
it's gonna be packed.
There's a lot of money involved there.
Wait, like Hobbamock. Imagine that place being packed. That must be a nightmare.
A lot of Teslas and Rolls Royces pulling in there for that game.
Yeah, they rolled the red carpet.
Do you know Hingham plays their home games out of Pilgrim, dude? That's
Pilgrim stinks too, dude.
That rink's so bad.
It used to be good when we were younger, and it just fell apart.
I did like that rink. Years ago. That was a decade and a half ago. Last time I think I played there.
Many moons ago.
We played there against Situate my senior year, right?
Yeah, we tied him. It was like the most insane shit of all time.
All right, let's move on to some D2 action. Our boys, number 3, Silver Lake, started the week off with a 4-2 loss to D1 heavy Marshfield, but they got back in the win column Monday with a 2-1 win over Whitman Hanson in the Cashman tournament. Duxbury has fallen down a few spots to number 5. They're 1-2-1 on the season. They lost their only game this week, 7-3 to Zavarian. And a couple teams who have entered the top 10, starting with number 7, Plymouth South. They entered the rankings this week at number 7. They've had a nice start to the season, most recently beating Quincy 4-2. And also entering the top 10, number 8, Masconomet. They're 2-1. They lost the first game of the season, but rebounded in a big way. They beat Marblehead 5-4 in OT and then beat Danvers 4-1. Next up, the Chieftains going to play Stoneham in the Christmas tournament this week. Boys, what are your thoughts from D2?
The Lake Show.
Yeah, I love it.
The Lake Show.
They're working their way up to number 3.
Let's go, dude.
The Silver Foxes.
Why would you say that? What's the Silver Foxes?
Oh, I was just Silver. That's what they should be called.
Silver Lake Silver Foxes.
But yeah,
and I should be the head coach.
Yeah, right. We just all have gray Letty. The Silver Foxes.
Yeah, you have to go to CVS and get a touch of gray.
Yeah, or just hire me because I already have gray hair.
No, the assistants have to have the gray too.
Yeah,
and even the kids on the team.
I mean, we've been big on the Lakers so far this year. I mean, they finally lost one this season, but I mean, they lose to a D1 team like Marshfield 4-2. I feel like that's a win in their book, keeping it close against a Marshfield team. So yeah, love to see Silver Lake cracking into the top 3 here. Duxbury, hate to see it.
The Magic Dragons,
hate to see it.
Man.
Duxbury falling down. They've hit a schneid here. I mean, they lost to Zavarian. Zavarian's probably a wagon, but yeah, not a great start for Duxbury. Plymouth South, I hate seeing them in the top 10, Bob.
Yeah, they ended me and Coco's high school careers, so don't like seeing them top 10.
They're always like those North and South. They're always pretty good. Like Plymouth North.
Plymouth North as big as Quincy.
I think Plymouth North has never been good. I think Plymouth South's the only good one.
Yeah, I've never seen Plymouth North's name in the mix, but I have seen Plymouth South a few times. Plymouth's a huge city. It's like as big as Quincy. That they have like the same similar numbers. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me to see them in the top 10. Masker Nemeth though, how about them coming in at number 8?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, what even is that?
I think they're on the Cape.
Oh, okay.
Don't quote me on
We're
that.
on the tip.
Yeah,
It's like, Bishop Sycamore snuck in at 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Master Nemeth.
Moving on. Don't even ask questions. Moving
We
on.
might have to hop on the Masker Nemeth wagon.
Yeah. Master Nemeth's got a game on ESPN Plus against BC High, and they just get rinsed.
Yeah.
10-0.
But yeah, love to see Silver Lake up there. We'll keep a close eye on them. And nice to see some new faces in the top 10 as well. Finally getting some, spotlight.
It's ramping up.
All right, let's move on to D3 where it's been the wild, wild west out in D3. So far in 3 weeks, there's been 3 different teams ranked number 1 for the Division 3 top 10. And the new number 1 this week, the nod goes to Linfield, who is now 3-0-1. The Pioneers edge Winthrop and tied up D2 Boston Latin. They're going to play Latin Academy on Tuesday in the Michael Giordano Christmas Classic. Pembroke has skyrocketed in the rankings, making their way up to number 4. This is their debut in the rankings. Pembroke is 2-1. The Titans took down Hanover 4-2 in their only action from last week. They'll face off against East/West Bridgewater on Tuesday. Hanover is bumped down to number 5. They're 2-2 on the season. They lost to Canton as well as Pembroke that we mentioned. They're going to look to get back on the winning track Saturday, but it's not going to be easy as they will play Duxbury. And then team up making a debut at number 10 is Drake Kingsborough. The Middies, they've scored 22 goals in 3 wins, and they face Northeast and then Peabody Saugus in their 2 matchups this week. Boys, what do you think about D3? A little wild right now, if you ask me.
Yeah, Hanover is dropping a couple, huh? I thought they were supposed to be the favorites in D3.
They got the buzzsaw.
What happens when you got that pressure on you?
Seems like they had a tough couple of games. Buzzsaw.
Yeah, definitely has been an easy draw for Hanover, right? Losing to Canton, who's a wagon. Pembroke looks like they're hot, and then they got to bounce back, but they got to do it against Duxbury. I don't know.
Yeah, and Duxbury, and we were talking about Duxbury. They dropped a couple games too, so that's going to be a dogfight
right now that need one.
Yeah, they'll be throwing haymakers.
Hanover or Duxbury?
What'd you say?
Who you got that one? Hanover or Duxbury?
Ooh.
Duxbury's gonna probably want it more.
I got Duxbury.
I'll take Hanover. We'll put that. We'll throw that on there. We're gonna figure that one out. We'll add that to the gambling corner.
Yeah, we'll set the lines.
Might be a bonus for this week.
Yeah.
Bonus gambling corner pick.
Yeah, another thing I got to touch on. So Quincy North game last night. That's also.
Oh yeah, what were the results of that?
3-2 North. They scored 2 seconds left in the game.
No way. Let's go.
Yeah. Apparently, it was just like an absolute barn burner.
Sorry, Bo.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not sorry.
Quincy North result.
Yeah. So, congratulations on Joe Zappi. First ever win as the assistant coach.
Let's go.
Yep.
First of many.
Wrap it up for Joe.
First of many, Joe. First of many.
Love it. Shout out Zappy, the assistant coach for North Quincy. He's come a long way, but yeah, I'd love to see that, his first career win as an assistant. But yeah, that's a classic outcome for a Quincy North game. 3-2, absolute battle. North on the winning end of things in dramatic fashion.
First win of the year.
Yeah, that's a big one for them. So maybe now they start to roll. But good for them because we've been on the opposite side of those against Quincy. We've had a couple heartbreakers. So good to see North on the winning end this time around.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we'll keep you posted on D3. Probably going to be a new number 1 next week. The way things have been going. Pembroke, sneaky up there at number 4. I remember Coach Gibbons talking about them. Their goaltending is pretty stellar. And hey, Drake at Tingsboro, the Middies, that could be my dark horse for D3. Whenever there's 2 towns combined like that, you got to watch out for them because you just don't know what they got.
What do they call the Middies? Like that's their.
Yeah, the Middies.
Oh, okay.
The Biddies.
Love the name.
I hope they're not smoking Middies, but.
All right, to round up our high school hockey recap, we'll finish with D4, where Norwell has held down the number 1 spot in the Hockey Night in Boston, Massachusetts Boys Division 4 top 10 for the 3rd week in a row. The Clippers stay undefeated with a 6-1 win over Medway. Number 3, Winthrop has moved up a couple spots after a convincing 6-2 win over previously undefeated Grafton on Monday. Cohasset Hull has come into the mix at number 4. They remain unbeaten on the season with a 2-1 win over Southeastern / Bristol. That's a mouthful. And then had to give a shout out to the Cape towns around here. Coming in at number 9, another newcomer to the poll is Dennis Yarmouth, who's now 3-0-1. The Dolphins have remained undefeated, outscoring their opponents 25-10 so far on the young season. Boys, what's your thoughts on D4? I mean, it looks like it might be a 1-horse race in Norwell. I really think it's theirs to lose this year. And I don't know if there's a competitor right now.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw last year, they're just so good. I'm assuming they probably had a lot of returners for Norwell. Makes sense. But you say Cohasset and Hull, it's literally every 2 towns combined together, just a wagon. 3-0-1. Yeah. It's all right. Imagine seeing that on the schedule. All right, fuck. I gotta play Cohasset Hall. I gotta play imagine if we just combined at schools North and Quincy. We'd be pretty solid. So,
it'd be a wrench show. I mean, it sounds like it's Norwell's to lose the division. Last year, Cole, I remember you telling me that it was a revenge year. So, I mean, they probably got some sour taste in their mouth the last couple of years. So. And they got that kid. Who's that kid? Kevin Larry. That's really good too.
Kevin Larry, yeah, long-time listener.
Jerome Biggums,
shout out,
caller of the show.
Keep it up, kid.
Yeah, gotta give a shout out to him.
Zach Bogosian's the horniest guy in the NHL.
Yeah.
He's not. He hasn't been proven wrong on that. I haven't heard anybody else say they were hornier than Zach Bogosian. So. I mean, that must be some insider info there.
The only person hornier than Zach Bogosian is Antonio Cromartie.
And I just
got 30 kids.
I have an update on U.S. versus Slovakia, and Slovakia just tied it in the second period.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't. And it was a power play goal too. They scored.
What's Logan Cooley doing?
He doesn't have a goal. I can look.
No,
the kid Brindley. What? And just the whole thing, or just tonight, or in the game.
Dude, so far in the tourney, I don't think he's buried, has he?
No, I don't think so. I have the stats right here. I don't see any U.S. guys in the top 10.
Yeah.
No, so the highest scorer right now is Sean Behrens, if that's how you say it. Defense.
They have one of the Hughes brothers.
Yeah. Luke Hughes. Yeah.
He was number 4. Number 4 pick last year for the
He
Devils.
looks good.
Yeah, he's good.
He looks good.
He scored.
Actually, the leading scorer, and not defense, is, love this name, Red Savage.
Red Savage.
Nasty.
Yes. Best name in the tourney, Red Savage.
Right? And that's like probably not even a nickname either. Like, that's definitely his name.
No, that kid
Shout out
was
his
born in a
parents.
cabin. That kid was born in a cabin.
Oh, yeah.
Probably a home birth. Probably had a home birth. Like that, they called the doctor on scene. It was a house visit. Kid's a
Yeah,
savage.
he lives in a hollowed out boot.
He's been chopping wood since he could walk, dude.
Yeah.
And he
Chopping
plays.
lumber in the backyard. That's how the house runs. Like if he doesn't chop wood, then the house is cold as shit.
He probably skins elks.
Yeah.
Brindle.
Yeah, dude, he's
style.
gonna get drafted by the Carolina Hurricanes just
Yeah.
so him and Rod the Bod can go and just kill a deer together, skin
You
him.
got to make it to the NHL with that name. That name alone will take you places. Red Savage.
Red Savage.
Look at the mug on this kid. Let me see if he goes to Miami, Ohio, which I thought was like it suits him because they all red. We're all red.
Yeah, I think they call the Red Hawks, aren't they?
Yeah, the Red Hawks. Yep. Yeah, they are.
That's sick.
I'm on his bio right now, but
Does
it
he have
doesn't.
red hair?
No. He looks like he looks like a prep school kid. Like he doesn't look like anything like.
Go figure. Come on.
Yeah, but I want to see if he's actually.
Come on, knock some teeth out. What are we doing here?
Yeah,
If I was him, I'd lose a couple teeth.
Let me see if he got drafted yet. He played in the Red Wings. Wow, this is nuts.
Wow,
Red
what's going
Wings.
on?
His name's Redmond. His
Yeah.
name's Redmond Savage.
Oh, it's Redmond Savage. Yeah, I'm on the DB right
Redmond,
now. He's had a pretty good
All
career.
red everything.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was on that World Juniors team that won it. I remember he was
think he was on
he was
the
like a
last
third
one,
or
yeah.
fourth liner. He didn't play much, but
Yep.
Scottsdale, he definitely. I don't know. He's a desert guy.
You've seen more and more of them lately. Guys coming out of the desert.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he was
Logan
doing.
Cooley? Logan or Morgan?
He
Cooley?
got drafted to the Yotes, Logan Cooley.
Okay, maybe that's why I'm associating him with Arizona.
Yeah, he
But,
got drafted third pick. I was actually looking him up the other day. I was like,
That's wild.
because he went before
Reds-
Shane Wright.
Red Savage playing for the Miami, Ohio Red Hawks, drafted by the Detroit Red Wings.
Can't make this up.
Right?
Literally can't
Can't.
make it up.
Can't make it up. Before we move on from our high school hockey roundup, I do just want to note that Norwell and Cohasset Hull are in the same league, so they're going to face off at some point. So I think that's going to really, give us some more information on how far Norwell is from the rest of the competition. Depending on how that game goes against Cohasset Hull. Like if they beat the brakes off Cohasset Hull, who's a top 5 team in D4, then
Just hand the
give them
trophy.
all the
Watch
title,
out.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But
Watch
Cohasset
out.
Hull can keep it a close one. Then like, oh yeah, maybe there's someone in there who can upset Norwell. So we'll keep a close eye when those two teams face off. All right, I think that just about wraps it up for our Mass High School Hockey Roundup. We'll keep you posted on some of those premier matchups across the state on next week's episode. All right, moving on. So with 2023 right around the corner and 2022 soon coming to an end, we figured why not take a look back on 2022 and highlight some of the best from this past year. So we have several different categories that we're each going to give our nominees for the following awards. We have Goal of the Year, Save of the Year, Hit of the Year, Coach of the Year, Player of the Year, and I think the most prestigious award there is, High Slot Guest of the Year. So before we move on to our award ceremony here, just wanted not to highlight, the nominees that we're going to talk about in just a moment, but highlight ourselves too for one hell of a year. Want to shout out you boys, Snipsky, Bob. Got a little, hey, how are you?
Oh.
A little white right here. I mean, I'm not usually a white wine drinker, but
It's all about the red.
it is all about the red. But hey, you can only work with what you got. So just wanted to give you boys a shout out for one hell of a year.
Oh,
to,
yeah.
Many more to come.
Let's
So
go.
Cheers, boys.
Yes, sir.
Vinny with the Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Not bad. Like I said, usually a red wine guy, but
Yeah, you can
white-
chug. You can
white's
chug
kinda
that.
hitting.
You could
got
chug that
some,
wine. That's the best part.
La Pluma, straight from Portugal.
Wine from Portugal.
France.
How are you? Yeah, right? Wouldn't be my first guess. Thought it would be from like Italy or something, but La Pluma, Portugal. I give it a
Let it breathe. Let it breathe a little bit.
I'll give it a 6.4.
All right, that's not bad. That's not terrible.
No, not terrible at all. I like it. I'm not a white wine guy either. So
round up to 6.9.
All right.
Horny.
Without further ado, welcome to the High Slot Award Ceremony. Starting with our first category, Goal of the Year. Snipsky, let's kick it off with you. Who's your nominee for Goal of the Year?
So this goal really stood out to me. Just the finesse and just like it looked so effortless was the penalty shot goal by Nick Suzuki against the Yotes. When he slowed down and he was like, it was kind of Datsukian a little bit, but obviously he's a righty. So he like kind of slowed down, stick handle, got the goalie to bite, and then he just flipped it like just over the goalie's glove, I want to say, maybe blocker, but either way, he made it look so good. I just love that one. Just stood out to me.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Was that a month ago or so?
Yeah, it was like this season.
Yeah, Suzuki's a stud. He's one of the, few highlights on that Canadians team. But yeah, I remember that one. That one was special. So Nick Suzuki, nominee for Goal of the Year. Bob, we'll kick it over to you. Who's your nominee for Goal of the Year?
I'm going with another shootout goal. It was Pasta's shootout goal against the New York Islanders. The one when he came down, like he faked like he lost the puck on his left side and came back and just roofed it top dog, like bar down. It was like one of the nastiest goals I've ever seen.
That was backhand too, wasn't it?
Well, no, he it was forehand. So he got the.
Oh yeah, he faked backhand.
Yeah, he faked backhand, but he faked like he lost it, or he might have lost it. I don't know, but he recovers. And just made it like Sorokin looked like an idiot, and flicked his wrist, went bar down.
It looked like he waved, like he cast a spell on the puck.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
It was so much nastier just because he looked like he brought the puck over to his left skate and looked like he shit himself, but he tried, you know what I mean? He tried to sell that he shit himself. You know what I mean? And then he brought it over and just went bar down. It was the most clean thing I've ever seen.
We tried to do that in again. It was in real time. He actually tried to do it against Hellebuck a couple nights ago, and Hellebuck just gloved it.
Yeah.
But it looked like it was going to work. It was just Hellebuck's just that good. He was just there.
Knowing Pasta, that probably was on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it was way more impressive.
Yeah, you never know what he's got in his bag of tricks. I mean, but yeah, that one was special. So mine, not a shootout goal like yours, and actually not from the NHL at all. And it's going to go to our own Bob Deuce for his goal against Anna Maria. I mean, I still have the replay in my head, coast to coast, buttered toast, puts not one, but two guys in the spin cycle. And then the short side finish was a thing of beauty. So I got to nominate Bob for Goal of the Year for that goal against Anna Maria.
Oh, let's go.
You charge them the change for that dryer, that spin cycle. Right? You make them pay for that?
Yeah, I made a lot of money over the holidays.
Yeah.
Paid my rent.
Right, Anna Maria a check.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, Venmo.
Yeah, I'm Venmo friendly.
Bob, you're going up against some good company, Nick Suzuki, David Pastrnak. Going to be a tough one to win. But
yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
See. We'll leave it up to the fans to vote, and we'll see who takes home Goal of the Year. All right, moving on to Save of the Year. Bob, why don't we start with you for this one? Who you got for Save of the Year?
It's not even a goalie. It's Mason McTavish. Remember against Finland? Yeah, dude, this puck was literally it was OT. Gold. It was a gold medal game, OT in the world. It wasn't for World Juniors. It was just the World Championships or something like that. It was in the middle of this year, and the puck came over and he just knocked it out. It was insane. The puck was literally going in the net, and the Finland players were selling because they thought it was in. And he just came and just knocked it out.
Wasn't it overtime?
Yeah, it was OT in the gold medal round. It was nasty.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was so nasty.
Yeah, that was back in August. Yeah. Over the summer, yeah, that was unreal.
And then Canada
was over.
And then
just
Canada
the stick out.
Yeah, and then Canada ended up winning the game, which made it even crazier. They won 5 minutes later.
I think that was World Juniors.
No, it was World Champion.
Didn't they have it during the summer?
I think the World Juniors got postponed for COVID, and I think that's why it was in.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah,
I think that's why there's another one.
Yeah, that was World Juniors. They had the World Juniors during the summer. I think that's what it was.
Oh, I thought they just called it World Champion.
No, it was the World Juniors because remember it was supposed. Yeah, because of COVID last year, so they moved it. So now it's like 6 months apart.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, that's my pick, Mason McTavish.
Yeah, he won MVP too of that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I forgot about that completely. That one was nasty. I'll give you my nominee for Save of the Year. It's going to Spencer Knight of the Florida Panthers for his save on Buffalo's Jeff Skinner It was beginning of the season. Tage Thompson came down, split the D, and then dished it backdoor to Skinner. And then Knight just reached out, flashed the leather, and then just committed like highway robbery. Like the puck was almost like by the goal line too, and he just snatched it out, and everyone was just like, "Oh my God, what just happened?"
Yeah.
So I got to give my nominee to Spencer Knight. I think we talked about that one on the pod too a little whiles ago. But yeah, Spencer Knight, that's my nominee.
How about you, Vinny?
So my save was John Gibson's save this year on Pasternak. It was pretty dirty. It was like one of those 1-Ts. I think it was on the power play, and it was like 1-T. It partially got blocked, I think, but it got redirected and hit John Gibson when he was coming across crease. Bounced back out to Pasternak. Pasternak takes another like 1-T or a hard wrist shot. John Gibson's on his ass. He's just like squaring, like puts his arms up and he shoots it right at him and he just like bats it out of the air. It was sick. Yeah, it was sick.
Yeah, those desperation saves. Yeah, it's like goalie's like, all right, I got nothing to lose. Fuck it, just throws up. Like,
it's all instinct at that point.
That's the most impressive thing, that they're just like improv, like they're like disadvantage.
Split second.
Yeah, they have a disadvantage, and they have less than a minute. I mean, less than a second to even to react to the thing, especially Pasternak. Yeah. But I mean, John Gibson's a hell of a goalie too.
He's
tip
in
my
a
nod
shit situation with the Ducks. They're terrible.
Traded away everyone.
They have no defense.
To us.
Yeah, he's kind of gotten shafted this year. People kind of forget how good of a goalie John Gibson was. And
he's in his prime,
I think. But
in his prime, too, getting wasted.
Get out of Anaheim ASAP. All right, moving on to our next category, hit of the year. I'll give you guys my nominee because it's a pretty unique one. So this came in the 2022 Para Hockey Cup. It was in sledge hockey. I don't know if you guys have seen it, sledge hockey, done the little sleds. And
like the handicap,
like the
right? Yeah, right.
So it was a guy from Czech. This guy from Canada was coming through the middle, and this guy from Czech just absolutely lays him out. Absolute yard sale. The guy's Bucky came flying off.
Yeah, he got fucked up. Yeah,
the guy had a concussion.
I haven't seen this. I gotta pull this up.
It's nuts.
It was on Hey Barber. You follow Hey Barber?
Oh yeah. Actually, I'll look at my phone.
Check him out. He posted it. I literally saw it last second today. It was wild because I didn't even know you could hit in sledge hockey.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, right.
But dude, this was a big boy hit. Like coming across.
He gets smoked, dude.
To keep his head up. And he just laid him out.
Oh, it's the Canadian guy, right?
Yeah, he gets crushed, dude. Yeah.
Guy got nailed.
No, you know the worst part about it? It's funny, but it's like wasn't like I mean.
Oh, dude, the guy he gets hit, and then the other guy comes driving by and hits him again.
Yeah, so
that's
dude. There was a comment on the post. It was wicked funny. It just goes, "Oh, that guy really left his feet on that one." And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude! Like the internet's fucked.
Way to kick him while he's down, huh?
Take a look at the comment section. You'll get a couple laughs.
Yeah, the comment section's wicked funny, dude.
That's my nominee hit of the year, the sledge hockey hit. Sledge hockey might be a slept-on sport. It seems pretty electric. Like every time it's on SportsCenter, there's just a nasty highlight, and you're just like, "Oh my God! Like what is this?"
Dude, that hit was crazy.
Oh, the guy actually. I'm looking at the comments. The guy that got hit, the Canadian guy commented on it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he goes, "I'll take a tag on the post too. It would make the concussion I got from the hit worth it."
Guy got laid out. It's unreal. Little sledge hockey.
Yeah, and then somebody goes, teammates should be standing up for him.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Jeez.
Really left his feet on that.
Yeah, oh my God. All done, canceled.
The comments were wild on that one. Go check it out. Snipsky, who you got for hit of the year?
So yeah, this one was absolute train by Ovi on Connor Timmins into the bench a couple weeks ago. Poor kid. You got the Mack truck coming in. I mean, he probably provoked it a little bit too for Ovi just to be going over there. But hey, you gotta get it. He delivers so many hits and he scores so many goals. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, people forget that about Ovi. That he's a moose and he will lay the body when he needs to. Half the time he's just skating around kind of aimlessly, and then just finds himself in his office ripping 1-Ts. But every once in a while he will bury someone, especially when he gets a little pissed off. Watch out, he's like a bull.
Yeah, low key, he's probably most skilled and also the biggest guy on the ice every time he's out there.
He's a scary dude to go against. Him coming at you full speed, watch out when the train's on the tracks.
Yeah, he's a savage.
All done.
Bob, who you got for hit of the year?
I forget who actually hit him, but Miles Wood getting cleaned out, open ice.
Oh yeah, was that Dobson?
It might have been
There was
Dobson.
someone on the Islanders. I
Yeah,
think.
they murdered him, dude. It might have been Dobson. Like that was probably like the most because it's more impressive because Miles Wood is legit an animal, and he's just going down.
he's
Just
a
He
dead.
lost his bucket, right? I think I remember seeing it. I just can't remember.
Yeah, he got
them.
cleaned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I know what
head
you're
down,
talking
coming through
about.
the middle.
All done.
Yikes. Yeah, that was a big point.
Yeah, wasn't he hurt
that
too
up.
after that? I think he had a miss.
He was
sometime.
out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was out for a bit. But yeah.
He's
All
like
right,
the devil.
moving
Oh,
on.
yeah, you go.
Moving on, we gotta go to Coach of the Year. Snipsky, we'll send it over to you. Who's your nominee for Coach of the Year?
My coach of the year is I was smoking crack earlier, so I'm going with Dave Hackstall. He's got the boys in the right direction. I love it. Yeah, it's a mix of old veterans and some young talent. It looks like it's going well, and he might be the right guy for that job. Smoking crack.
Yeah, he's
Nothing
done
like
a
smoking
fantastic job over there in Seattle this year. Yeah, Dave Hackstall.
He has the
Definitely
plug for some
deserving of a
crack.
nominee. Yeah, he's been on the crack all year.
Yeah, that's another reason why I nominated him too. My crack deal.
Fellow crackhead.
Bob, who you got for Coach of the Year?
I'm gonna go with Lindy Ruff. The Devils, even being in the position that they are right now, is honestly kind of insane. Like, I know Jack Hughes had a breakout season this year, but like no one really thought like them as a team would be where they're at right now. So I'm gonna go with Lindy Ruff.
Yeah, he's done some fantastic things in New Jersey this season, and just the stories I've heard of him as a guy are nuts. Like, he seems like a wild card, Lindy Ruff, like type of guy I'd want to play for. So yeah, another very deserving nominee for Coach of the Year. I'm gonna go with the hometown guy, Jim Montgomery. Just the whole thing with Montgomery getting a second chance as an NHL head coach after recovering with his battle against alcohol abuse. You know, he comes into Boston, big shoes to fill, big expectations, and he's done nothing but overachieve so far. He's coached the Bruins to a 27-4-3 start, best record in the league, first in the Atlantic, and has really untapped some of these players' potential. So Monty, I think, is very much deserving of this award, and that's why he's my nominee, Jim Montgomery, for Coach of the Year.
Yeah, that was a layup. Like he's literally just
Someone had to do it.
yeah. Someone had to.
Yeah. Shout out Monty. All right, couple more categories before we wrap it up. Moving on to Player of the Year. Bob, who's your nominee for Player of the Year?
Alex Ovechkin, he has to be up there. All the milestones he's hit with all of his goals and everything, and he's just a legend in the making right now. So just watching him play and him just breaking all these records has been a treat to watch this year.
Yeah. Shout out Ovi. Still doing his thing. 20-something years later, still breaking records on Gretzky's tail for all-time goals. So, yeah, Ovi definitely deserving of a nominee. I'm going to go with the guy who hasn't even played a professional game yet, and it's Connor Bedard. He's been absolutely dominant in the WHL this past year. Just, you talked about records with Ovi. Well, some of the records Bedard has already set are absurd. So he's amassed 67 goals, 146 points in just 68 games last season. So
that's ridiculous.
That's over 2 points per game. He's had two separate 20-plus game point streaks. He's recorded 2 or more points in 46 of his 68 games, and he's recorded 3 or more points on 22 separate occasions. And did I mention he's only 17? He got a special waiver granted for him to play in the WHL last year at 16. Rightfully so, he's projected to be the consensus #1 overall pick. And just to dominate like that at any level, doesn't matter what it is extremely impressive. And he's my nominee for Player of the Year. And I really can't wait to see how electric that he'll be in the NHL, because he might be the most hyped prospect I think we've ever seen. So definitely excited to see what he's got in store for us.
Yeah, since McDavid, I mean, he's
the most talked about one since McDavid.
Yeah.
And look at McDavid, he's a fucking alien.
Right. I mean, you're in the same sense as McDavid. That's gonna get me going.
Yeah, that's
a
good segue, because my Player of the Year is Connor McDavid. This year he has 36 games played, 67 points. So you do the math, that's pretty much 2 points a game, and that's nuts. 31 goals, 36 assists. Legit just carries the Oilers. Every time I watch them, he's scoring. It's pretty much just skating around, just blowing by people like he's first line mites. Like it's absurd. But I mean, it's kind of a layup too. It's no one's better than McDavid.
Yeah, you can't have a Player of the Year award and not have McDavid be a nominee. I mean, we might as well have been canceled as a podcast.
Right, we wouldn't be credible at all if that was the case.
So yeah, McDavid has to be in there. He's the best of the best right now. He's been dominant at the highest level possible. I talked about Bedard. I mean, we'll see if Bedard can even sniff McDavid numbers. It'd be pretty crazy if he can, but
I think he's on pace for like 140 points.
Yeah,
he's on like 150 points. He had 123 last year.
He's on pace for like an absurd amount of points. It's fucked.
All right, our last award of the night. Best award there is. There's no higher prestige than the high slot guest of the year from this past year. I'll start off with my nominee, and I'm going to go with Coach Matt Gibbons. I mean, the interview with Gibbo was just a blast, having on our former coach, having him on the pod. I think our interview really hit home for a lot of our listeners out there with him. I know it did for me, and I thought that there were some great messages embedded in that interview for young athletes out there. So, Coach Gibbo, if you're listening, you've got my nominee for high slot guest of the year. Best of luck to you. Hopefully you win it.
That's a good pick. I enjoyed that interview a lot. Yeah. It was a good one.
Oh yeah. Nasty.
Yeah. Snipsky, who you got for guest of the year?
So I'm going back to the first episode, Mikey Adamson.
Let's go.
Good guy. First time I met him was that night. Good guy, easy to talk to. He's over at UMass right now, freshman year. They're having a pretty decent year. Hopefully they ramp it back up and we see our boy get some points and get some good ice time out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a great guest. Hometown guy,
right.
Local guy. First ever guest on the pod.
Right.
So that's pretty historic. That's a great nominee, Mikey Adamson. We've had some good guests over the course of the past year. So if you don't make the top three, don't be offended. We appreciate all of our guests, but we got Gibba, Mikey Adamson, and Bob. Why don't you finish us off? Who's your nominee?
This is the St. Patty's Day episode, Johnny McGinnis. And this is the episode. This is the episode when we were wasted drunk, or whatever, and we just interviewed Johnny, and it was one of the funniest interviews of all time. That was probably our funniest interview.
Oh, Bo, you missed that one. You would have loved that one.
Oh, it was bad. But we talked to him for 2 hours, dude, and we wouldn't shut the fuck up. But it was so funny, and it was good too because we got to get into the depth of him playing Quincy youth hockey and stuff, and what he did to become a pro and all that, and his coaching. Also, he's unbelievable at coaching. Has a couple championships with the Boston Pride. Now he's with the Mariners. All that, so he's pretty successful.
Oh, that was a long one. We were so drunk.
Yeah,
it was funny.
That was a long one. He really made that one. He carried that interview for us. But the best part about that was that he was coming out of a practice late at night and pulled over. He was on his phone on FaceTime and pulled over to do the entire interview with us for 2 hours.
Sick.
He just pulled into a random parking lot and just shot the shit with the boys. That was a great one, Johnny McGinnis.
Hell yeah.
Because I remember I was on the golf course with Vinny 2 hours before, and he was yeah, we're gonna go interview after this. What are we doing? That was funny.
That was a great
one.
We
were at Malachi's.
No, that's what it was. No, we were drinking with my parents, and my dad's like, oh yeah, don't you have the podcast later? We're like, yeah. He's like, aren't you interviewing someone? We're like, yeah. And he goes, what are you doing? It was so funny.
We were getting ready.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean we're getting ready? I think that was the last time I drank before a podcast. So because I remember I listened to myself, I'm like, Jesus, I can't let that happen again. It was hilarious, but I sound like such an idiot.
Hey, you live and you learn.
Yeah. That's my nominee, though.
Those are our categories for all different types of awards. Shout out all our nominees. We'll throw them up on social media, and now it's in the hands of the listeners and the viewers out there to vote for all those categories we just talked about. We'll keep you updated with our winners on next podcast. We'll present you with those different nominees and who won. All right, moving on. Our last segment of the night. It's the weekly gambling corner. Quickly to recap, last week we had one game cut short due to weather. What was it? Buffalo and Tampa, I believe, got snowed out. So we only had 4 picks last week. Snipsky and Bob, each 1-3. I was on the opposite end at 3-1. Gained a little leeway in the standings here. So currently I'm 25, 22-1, 53%. Bob remains in second, 20-24, 45%. And Snipsky in third, 19-26, 42%. So
still
boys,
in it.
Boys, you got to start something soon if you're trying to catch your boy here.
Yeah.
But there's a lot left. Haven't even hit the halfway point of the season yet. We're just gonna keep chugging along with the picks. Before we get into them, though, New Year's right around the corner. Do you boys have any New Year's resolutions? And I'm talking like gambling wise. Like look back on what you've done, what you could do better. You got any resolutions you want to make this year? I'll start you off with mine. I have one, and it's just gonna be simply stop fading the Carolina Hurricanes. I don't know why I've been doing it. Hasn't worked out for me, so I'm going to make it a New Year's resolution of mine. Stop betting against the Canes no matter what the circumstance is. And I need you guys to help keep me accountable here. If I try to bet against the Canes, just slap me across the face or something because I can't keep doing it.
We'll void the pick. We won't let it happen.
Yeah, we'll just rip up the slip.
But yeah, I don't know. Just want to see if you boys want to make any New Year's resolutions before
I have one. Don't be a mush.
Yeah, just don't be a mush.
Yeah. Don't be a mush.
I mean, that's pretty simply put, but hey, that's a good one. All right, let's get into it. Starting with Wednesday, December 28th. This game's going to be late night on TNT. It's the Calgary Flames going up to face the Seattle Kraken. The Crackheads. Boys, Flames, Kraken. What are you boys thinking? Bob, we'll start with you.
I don't know. I'm kind of itching right now. I don't know why. I haven't smoked crack in a while.
What do you mean? It was like an hour ago.
Yeah, that's been a while. I'm just gonna roll with the Kraken. They've been good. They've been good to me, so I'm gonna go with the Kraken.
Yeah, the line's already set at -115 Calgary, and the Cracker at home. So I love the home dog aspect there. And I mean, the Kraken have just been very good, like all year, like not getting blown out, close games. So yeah, and the Flames have been on the downside. The goaltending has been spotty. So yeah, I'm gonna go smoking crack. Still itching my neck.
I mean, you boys know I like smoking crack as much as the next guy, but I got to take some time away from the crack this week. I'm going with the Flames. I got to do it. I'm sticking true to my Flames. I picked them to win the cup. It does not look good. I picked that before the season had started. But I think I don't really have any analytical standpoint here. I just think the Flames are due to turn around sooner than later. Kraken have been really good, but I don't know. I'm just still a little worried about the Kraken, thinking they might have some regression coming for them soon. Calgary played a tight one against Edmonton last night, so I think they really need to make an emphasis to come out and get 2 points tonight. So unfortunately, I'm off the crack tonight, and I'm gonna roll with the Flames. I gave this one out, Professor a puck already earlier.
Oh,
today,
did you?
And,
okay.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the Flames. I'm on the Flames.
His other thing,
you can't smoke crack without a flame. So
yeah. Yo, it's a perfect marriage. Perfect game.
Nasty.
So there's another thing. Kraken, this is their first game back since the break.
Yeah.
And they lost. Yeah, they lost 6-5 shootout against Vancouver. So yeah, I mean, you never know. Like it's been a long layoff.
Tough one. It's a toss up, but yeah, I gotta go with the Flames here. All right, moving on to Thursday, December 29th. We have a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals. It's the New York Rangers going down to Tampa to take on the Lightning. Snipsky, we'll start with you. Rangers, Lightning. Who do you got in this one?
I'm not gonna bet against the Lightning at home. I know the Rags have been like really good lately. I mean, they lost their last game to Washington 4-0. I mean, since I put it that way, I might take the over instead. I'm gonna take the over. Over? Yeah.
I don't hate it. The Lightning are playing tonight against the Canadiens. Assuming they're gonna pump the Canadiens tonight. Tampa on a back-to-back, a little tough. I think we might see Brian Elliott in this
one.
Brian
Elliott's projected.
Yeah, I'm not very confident. I'm not very very confident taking the Lightning against the Rags. The Rags are pretty good away on the road.
And I hate betting against Tampa too, especially at home. Snipsky, I think I'm going to roll with you here. I think I'm going to go the over as well. I think we might see a low total too, like a 5.5, maybe a 6.
It's 6 right now.
I think they can get that. I think they can get at least 6.
Yeah, it is 6.
Push at the worst. So
plus Tampa.
I'm going to roll with that over as well. The over at home for Tampa is 11-6 on the season. So I like that. I'm going to roll with the over.
Yeah, Tampa's minus 145. I don't know if I love that either, but
no, I don't like that either. Yeah. I think value lies with the Rags, but stay away from a side. I'm gonna go total over.
Yeah.
Bob, what are you thinking on this one?
I'm gonna go with the Rags just because the chassis against Elliott. Obviously, I think he's gonna outperform them, and I like how the Rangers have been playing lately, so I'm gonna go with them.
Yeah, I was leaning that too, either Rags or the over. Just betting against Tampa at home for whatever reason scares me, but I think that's a great pick too. I would go either way on that one, Rags or over. So let's hope for Rags and the over. Everyone wins. All right, couple more games. We're going to move on to Friday, December 30th. It's the New Jersey Devils taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins in a Metropolitan Division matchup. Devils, Pens. I'll start here. The Pens, man. I just have a love-hate relationship with the Pens right now. I was riding them when they were hot. They were doing me well. And then just lately, they've really done me dirty. So I don't think I can ride with the Pens here. But I'm going to go with the over because I don't really trust the Devils either. But I trust some goals. Hopefully, Jari's not in net because he's kind of been lights out lately.
Yeah, Jari's in net as projected.
277 goals against.
I don't know. Something about these two teams just screams over to me, so I'm going to take the over in this one. Bob, we'll kick over to you. Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Pens. Every time I picked them, they haven't done me wrong yet, so hopefully they don't do me wrong this time. I think what I looked is that the Pens are pretty good at home. I think they have a pretty decent home record.
I have the records.
10-3.
Yeah, I have 10-3-3 Pens at home, and Devils are a 12-2-1 on the road. So good teams are great on the road. So I mean, this is going to be a close one. I think
this is going to be a good one. Yeah, but yeah, I don't hate that Pens pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with. You know what? It's not a sexy pick, but I'm gonna go with the under.
Under, yeah.
He's bringing no duels to the campfire.
Yeah.
So somebody's got to do it sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I don't really like this game at all, to be honest with you.
It's a tough pick.
It is. This is a tough game. It's probably gonna be a close line too. Penn's probably gonna be slightly favored since they're at home. But,
I don't know. I see it maybe home dog, maybe, but
and they'll maybe more horny for the Pens if they're home dogs.
So the boys are all over the place on this one. Bob's going Pens. Snipsy's got under. I got over. Well, we'll see how that one pans out. Not very confident in that game, if I'm being honest with you. Moving on to Saturday, December 31st. It's Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Snipsky, let's start with you with this one.
Colorado's been they came on lately. They got absolutely pumped by the Oats last night, I think. 6-3.
Pumped by the Oats, yeah.
Which is kind of a red flag to me. But also, Maple Leafs are such a tough team to play against.
Not to persuade anyone, Nathan McKinnon could be back for this one.
Yeah.
He's supposed to come back this week.
You know what? I'm going to ride with the Avs because the Avs have been rolling lately. And I think it's time for them to start ramping it up, do or die type of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you my pick for this one. It's not pretty. It's the under. These two teams have kind of been under machines this year. So Colorado is 21-10 on the unders this year. Toronto is 21-14 on the under. So for whatever reason, not many goals between these two teams, for and against. Especially even at home, Abs are 11-4 on the under. Just seems like an under game to me. Might be like a playoff type atmosphere. Abs really got to get in the win column, so I think they're going to be desperate, kind of try and lock it down defensively, hold Toronto's top guns to minimal damage here. So I'm gonna go with the under and kind of just hold my breath and hope for the best.
Yeah, Avs four of the last 5 games have hit the under.
Yeah, not pretty from the Avs lately. Bob, who do you got for this one?
I know McKinnon might be back for this game, and if he does, I think it's going to be like a lot closer game than anticipated. But there's just way too many like notable injuries for the Colorado Avalanche. You still got Mason. Yeah. Mason will be out still. I mean Manson. Sorry, Nistushkin will still be out. Landeskog, like there's so many other guys out.
I don't see.
Bo Byram's out, like all that. So
I have the injury report right here. It doesn't say.
I just read it off right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. On what I'm looking at.
But yeah, I got. I'll take Maple Leafs, just because of like all the notable injuries still for the Avalanche. The Maple Leafs are rolling right now. They're such a good hockey team, so go with them.
Leafs got 3 D-men on the injury report.
Yeah, it's the same guys that have been out all year.
True.
All right, last game of the week, Sunday, January 1st. It'll be the first pick of the new year. It's the Buffalo Sabres heading north of the border to take on the Ottawa Senators. Sabres Sens. Bob, why don't we start with you?
Over. That's just like an over game. You got Anton Forsberg, and like the projected goalie for the Sabres is like LeCount, like what I don't know how to pronounce that last name. So I'm definitely gonna go with the over here.
Yeah, I'm on the over too. I'm gonna double dip though. I'm gonna go Sabres and the over here. I like the Sabres. Not sold on the Sens. Sabres been one of the best over teams in the league this year. They're 18-13 on the over. Sens actually been terrible for the over. They're 12-22 on the over.
Oh, Jesus.
But I don't know. I just think the way these two teams match up, Buffalo likes to get into a run and gun style, and I think the Sens can try and open it up like that too. You mentioned the goaltending too isn't anything to write home about. So I think the Sabres pull this one off, and it goes over. A little double dip for me. Snipsky to finish this off.
They played twice already. First game 4-1 Sabres. Then the next game they played 4-1 Sens. Oh, so it's kind of like this,
they're due for an over then.
Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde type situation there. It probably just depends on who's in net for each team.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just go on a limb here, and I'm gonna take the Senators.
Sens.
Yeah, I mean
they beat the Bees. So
yeah, I mean they Sabres are a 4-game heater. I mean they played some pretty good teams though, but the Sens are pesky.
Yep. Well, there you have it. That's the weekly gambling corner this week. Big week standing wise. The boys need me to have a 0 for week. Yeah, but anything's possible. So I probably should shut my mouth, not speak it into existence. So let's move on from that. We'll keep you posted on the results next week. Before we sign off tonight, Bob, fun fact of the day. Why don't you take it away?
All right. So thanks for Snipsky for bringing this to my attention. This is one of the best fun facts I've seen in a while. A Ugandan man with 102 children, 568 grandchildren, and 12 wives decided to stop adding to the family. Musa Hasaya, 67, from Lusaka, has asked his 12 wives to start using contraception so the family can buy more food to eat. He said, "My income has been lower and lower over the years due to the rising cost of living, and my family has become bigger and bigger. I married one woman after the other. How can I be satisfied with one woman?" That's literally what he said. This guy's just an ultimate just love sex. Just like he just loves sex. You know what I mean?
He's the horniest guy on the planet.
Yeah, like this guy is hornier than Zach Bogosian.
So that's it's an understatement. I just can't think of the right terminology. It was like he's insanely horny,
dangerously horny.
Hasn't his piece fell off. You know, like
oh, shit.
Like you know what I mean? Like what is he? Where's he from?
He's from Uganda.
Like, you have sex with him, huh?
He has 12 wives.
Yeah, so he has 102 children, 568 grandchildren, and 12 wives.
What?
So that means his children are like love having sex too. 568. Well, I mean, if you do,
the genes travel well, huh?
Yeah, strong swimmers.
Strong swimmers run the family.
Yeah.
Jesus,
Unbelievable, dude. When Vinny sent this in the group chat, I was like, what the I'm like, I gotta do some research on this.
I was like, it reminds me of Bob. Yeah, send it to Bob.
I just have so many questions that there's probably not answers to. Like, where does he live? Does he live with all these women, or is there just like he has a different house for each wife?
Well, there's a picture of him like on the post, and it's like a bunch of huts around him and
he
shit.
lives in Uganda, so they don't really have houses out there.
It sounds like he just like supplied like a whole like village. He just like pretty much just like owns. He like has sex with every woman in like the village.
It sounds like a cult.
Yeah.
Like low key, it's like a cult.
Yeah, and who is this guy? Like, there's no way this is just some like average Joe Schmo. Like, this guy has to have a reputation of some sorts. Like, how's he bagging all these women?
I don't know.
Got a wrench. I guess, huh?
He just got a wrench.
He got the biggest wrench in the village.
What's he hiding?
So one of the comments on it just goes, Nick Cannon said rookie numbers.
Yeah.
Yo, he makes
and
Nick
then
Cannon look.
Another one too. This man couldn't even pull out of his own driveway.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, having one child is enough work, but having 102,
dude, the child support. Are you kidding me? Like
he's like, oh my job, I haven't been able to have enough money lately. It's like, well, what is his job too? Like, how much money is he making?
They probably hunt for food. He probably just hunts for them all. Because I don't know.
There's not enough animals on the planet to feed his family.
He's got on some special payment plan or something.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Living off welfare.
Do you think they have welfare in Uganda?
They just pay it like when he works, he just gets.
No way.
There's no way.
When he works, he just gets paid in sex.
Yeah, he's Dirk Diggler.
Yeah.
Jeez. That's absurd. Well, there you have it. The horniest guy in America from Uganda. Does he have a name?
Yeah, I got it.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Musa Hasaya.
That's
Musa Hasaya.
He should just be in the Guinness Book of World Records. Horniest man on the planet.
Yeah, for real.
Just his picture next to it in his piece. When he dies, his piece needs to be like molded and like put on a plaque or something.
Yeah, golden ball sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
never forget.
It's not attached anymore. He just walks around with it. He's just like, hey, what's up? You see my piece?
All right. So as always, we'd like to thank our producer, Mass Music Radio. They continue to produce music for the masses. And if you haven't already, be sure to go check them out and their other featured podcasts over at massmusicradio.com. That's www.massmusicradio.com. Think that just about wraps it up for us here tonight. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and thank you for tuning in to another High Slot Podcast episode. Be sure to go check us out, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, for more daily hockey content. And we wish you all a happy new year.
Thanks everyone.
Happy New Year.